On this episode of Create Consume Repeat, I'm going to show you how to live stream your smartphone like a boss and highlight key points of interest in real time with custom static and animated graphics. So buckle up, it's about to get real informative. Cue the logo. Before jumping in, a little bit of background. A few weeks ago, I wanted to demo a few new features found on the latest release of the TikTok app. But when I connected my phone to the ATEM Mini Pro, I was confronted with these black bars, which we can all agree are dull to look at, and a huge waste of valuable screen real estate. Convinced there had to be a better way, I began to tinker and designed two layouts that would allow me to draw the audience's attention to specific regions of the screen and maximize the on-screen real estate. So here's how I did it. Step 1, hook it up. If you plan to share your iPhone or Android-based smartphone, you will need an AV adapter compatible with your device. This could be a Lightning port to HDMI adapter like this one in my hand right here, or a USB-C to HDMI adapter. Step 2, divide and conquer. Just like I demonstrated in my one-on-one interview episode a while back, we will be hacking the ATEM Mini Pro, but instead of doing a 50-50 split, we will divide the screen based off the width of the iPhone. So let's hop on over to the ATEM software control panel and begin by selecting our host's main camera in the program section. For me, that is input 2. Next, we will open the upstream key 1 drawer and select the DVE tab. Here we can select our mobile device input from the fill source dropdown. For me, that is input 3. For you following along at home, you may notice that nothing has happened yet, and that's because we haven't activated the key from the next transition section. Once you tap on air, you should see your smartphone pop up on screen. Clearly the positioning is off, but with a few adjustments, we will have a perfectly balanced frame. Let's head back to that DVE tab, and for position, input the number 11.87 in the X and 0 in the Y text fields. Under size, we will input 1.06 in both the X and Y text fields. Now, all we need to do is add a mask to refine the placement. Just input the number 0.5 in both the top and bottom text fields, and 12.10 in both the left and right text fields. As you can see, we have a perfectly balanced screen with the smartphone off to the right and our main camera on the left. But you may have also noticed that the host camera feed doesn't have the subject centered in frame. And to solve that issue, all we need to do is shift our body slightly to the left, which is a pretty simple solution. Now, I think we can all agree this new framing is a million times better, but it still doesn't address our inability to point out specific areas of the smartphone. Step 3, draw attention. To solve this, we could use the downstream key to call up images from the media pool. But in my opinion, this is a terrible solution since those graphics can't be moved in real time, and they would require pre-planning to get the positioning just right. Instead, we will use the upstream key and our old friend OBS to load on-screen callouts that can be repositioned in real time. Now, in order to do this, you will need to have a computer connected to the ATEM Mini Pro via an HDMI input, a secondary display, and a free copy of OBS. If you're new to this channel, please check out this video for more details. For the rest of you, this is all standard operating procedure. Once you have everything connected and loaded, we will want to launch OBS and create a new scene by clicking the plus sign in the lower left. Let's name it Attention. Once that's done, we need to create a source. In the source section, click the plus sign and select color source. When the dialog box opens up, give it a name and click OK. Another dialog box will open up, giving us the ability to select a color. Click select color, and in the HTML text box, type 000000 and click OK. Now, before we hit OK again, ensure your width and height are set to 1920 by 1080. Next, we will select the plus symbol in the source section again and select image. When the dialog box appears, give it a name and ensure Make Source Visible is checked. I know this seems obvious, but I just want to be certain you guys don't miss it by accident. A window will now appear asking us to define the local source, which in my case will be a cartoon hand I created in Photoshop, and I saved it out as a transparent PNG. Clicking OK will now load that graphic in the main window of OBS. The last thing we need to do is right-click and select Windowed Projector Preview. When that window pops up, right-click and select Full Screen and select your BMD HDMI. Step 4, combine elements. With that all out of the way, the only thing left to do is head back to the downstream key and select the input your computer is on from the fill source and key source dropdown. For me, that is input 4. Lastly, let's not forget to activate the key. Congrats! The PNG graphic is now overlaying your split screen and can be easily moved around the screen in real time just by moving it in OBS. Don't need the hand? Then hide it by clicking the eye. It's that simple. Still not happy? Let's turn it up a notch then by loading an animated.mov file, like this one right here. Just remember that whatever animation you use, it will need to have a transparent background. And if it's a looping animation, you will need to select that loop checkbox in OBS. Not great with After Effects? Don't worry. You can even load animated GIFs. You're welcome. Now, I get this layout isn't for everyone, and there are those that prefer the smartphone to be the focus, with a smaller picture-in-picture window in the upper right-hand corner for the host. The problem with that layout, though, is you're stuck with boring black bars to the right and left of the smartphone, right? Wrong. Using the same principles we just implemented, we can create an extremely premium layout like this example right here, where I am playing Mario Run on my iPhone during a live stream, which we can all agree looks pretty damn amazing. So how did I do this? Well, first I had to get the positioning, and in order to do that, I just pulled a frame from a previously recorded episode into Photoshop, measured out the live area, added some design flourishes, and created a mask that will allow us to see the phone and picture-in-picture video feeds. And for those of you watching that aren't comfortable using design software like Photoshop, don't worry. I've provided a Photoshop and PNG template file you can all use. Link down below. You're welcome. Once I finished designing the graphic overlay, I exported a transparent PNG, an all black version to be used as a mask, headed back to OBS and created a scene with the following sources: a looping animated background, an image source for the overlay, and loaded the animated hand so I could point things out at will. Don't have an animated background? Don't worry, Google's got you covered. With all that out of the way, the only thing left to do was combine it all in the ATEM software control panel. 1. Load the iPhone, which is on input 3, into the program section of the ATEM software control panel. 2. Open the upstream key pattern tab and select my main camera, which is on input 2 from the fill source dropdown. 3. Select the circle pattern and input 46% in size, 81.6% in symmetry, and 0.5 in both the X and Y position dialog boxes. This will give us a perfectly circular picture-in-picture. 4. Position the picture-in-picture in the upper right-hand corner by scrolling down to the flying key, and in the position input fields entered 12.5 for X and 5.5 for Y. And for size, entered 0.35 for both X and Y. 5. Load the mask I created in Photoshop into the Media Player library and selected it in the Media Player tab. 6. Open the downstream key drawer and selected iMac as the fill source and Media Player 1 key as the key source. 7. Enter 30% in clip and 22% in the gain dialog boxes to reduce jaggies. And 8. Activated both the upstream and downstream key. And voila, you have this nerd-tastic scene you can use during a live stream to demo anything on your smartphone. Not a fan of games? Don't worry, the template I provided is extremely editable, as you can see from this example right here. That said, this layout, while flexible, does have one major limitation. Unlike the first template that allows us to highlight anything on screen in real time, this template will not allow us to highlight anything in the video areas. forcing us to always stay within the margins, which is a small price to pay if you ask me. Love this tutorial, hate this tutorial, shocked that my channel doesn't have more subs? Well, let me know all about it in the comments section below. And as always, please hit that like, subscribe, and bell button to be notified when I drop a new episode.